Hey builders, Brickraddy up here with the second part of my Brickworld custom Lego haul. This one probably going to be the longest. All of the parts that I got from Citizen Brick on the early, just a badged attendees days on the Saturday where they dropped everything, all those minifigures there, and from visiting their Citizen Brick headquarters open house event where I got this really cool torso. On the back, I was there, and on the front, just the date. So that's kind of a cool little piece to get. I'll show that off a bit again when we get to the overall sort of on the stand reviews, but very happy to have that. And of course, all the other parts that I received from the convention. Got a lot of great figures when they were handing those out, some new cool molded parts, some new heads, and let's take a look at all of those. Quick overview of the parts that I picked out of the bins at the convention on Thursday. Here is everything. Unlike last year, there weren't a lot of exciting options for legs, but I also showed up late, so maybe other people grabbed those. I was pretty happy with some of the legs I got at Indianapolis, so is what it is. I'll just have to hope for next year, and I might actually go to Brick Fair too. In terms of new products that are now in the store, they had these signs. They had a bunch more options too, but these are kind of the ones that I picked out. I'll take a closer look at those, and if you are interested in these, go to citizenbrick.com. They have them. Just kind of moving down the line, got some really fun molded accessories. The pizza cutter from the Pizza Illuminati minifigure in a cool transparent color. Some clown hair, I think, or just some of those fun hair pieces. The meat piece from the bear minifigure in a couple different colors. Typical brown with some swirl in there. This kind of reddish, dark red, which would be kind of cool for like a Sloppy Joe type of meat. And then the yellow, I guess, for mac and cheese. It's kind of what I thought of. Got some yellow shanks, some flesh-colored turners, I guess spatulas, if that's what you want to call them. This kind of interesting bronze chicken, crosses, some big hands. Two of these are actually kind of marbled a little bit. These ones are solid silver. Again, gonna toss those on eventually. More new parts. They had these weird molded sperm parts. Got a couple in yellow and flesh. A new double head with the nipples on them. And it's kind of funny. I got the same colors, or three same colors for those torsos there, being their 20-sided dice, and then the Citizen Brick one over there. Large pizza from the Pizza Rat New York Comic-Con minifigure, as well as one of each of their D&D manual prints there on those books. I also was able to get a couple of the shoes from the Ladies Man. I thought it'd be really fun to do an aquarium with those. I mentioned that during the review, so I was glad to be able to pick up those. Moving over to the heads, and this is where it gets kind of fun and interesting. I ended up getting a misprinted Barbie head on a dark tan head. Very excited to get that. I'll have to find a body for it. And not from Citizen Brick, but somebody a couple booths over was selling fig barfs with some of the very old Citizen Brick zombie heads. I picked up two of those. And all the other heads that I picked up. Some different varieties. I think these faces, for the most part, were originally printed for their new night minifigures that we'll take a look at, but are in flesh, and then also that darker flesh, whatever color that plastic is now. Picked up a couple of loose heads for minifigures that they've done as well, and for new stuff, there's a couple at the top there. Large sunglass head, and they had a bunch of these Chicago flag torsos, I Love CB torsos, so both of those have been released before, and two of my favorite items are these Howdy torsos as well. And I'm going to go ahead and barf these together a bit, and we'll look at these parts individually. Just quick getting them out of the way. Here are some of those old zombie heads, like I said. The hairpiece is kind of covering up the print on this one, and it is one with a bullet hole right in the head. Of course, just on a generic nurse body, but the hand swapped, so just city parts there, but I think this is one of their original zombie heads, basically, so it's very cool to be able to get it. Has some weird shaping, the mouth very different than stuff that they make now and anything that Lego has done. There's some white spots on it too, so very unique part. Let's go to the other one, which again is that zombie head on some generic minifigure parts. This one being the Series 3 collectible minifigure Rockstar with the original Flying V guitar that they made for that one. I just really wanted that torso. They had a bunch of different options, but this is the one that I thought had the coolest parts. Random hairpiece, take that off quick. And again, great printing on this. Very unique mouth shaping, got some blood on it. One eye open, the other one's closed. And it's cool to get old Citizen Brick parts, especially when you're not really expecting it. Glad to have both of those. Let's jump into more of those convention parts. And since I didn't get a lot of legs this year, it's going to be a little bit harder for me to show the parts off as complete figures, but two torsos here that were just kind of at the checkout area at their booth. The Chicago flag one has the same printing on the back of the torso as the front, and these double head ones have the two nipples on the front, nothing on the back. It's always fun to get different double head and citizen brick molded parts with different printing on them. These are very weird and unique, which is why I picked them up, thought they'd be fun, and really wanted this torso. I just thought this would be cool since, you know, Citizen Brick is based in Chicago. The convention happened in Chicago, so it makes sense to get that. Let's move on to some more parts. Up next, you know, we got those Howdy torsos, just printing on the front with some neutral faces on the side of the cactus. These are just kind of what I view as fun sort of vacation shirts. You go out to the desert, buy a tacky gas station shirt. These are perfect for that. Got two different clown heads, one in aqua and one in glow in the dark, I'm pretty sure. Just checking that quick, and definitely glow in the dark. As you can tell when I shut off the lights, you know, glowing. So fun to get those different colors there. The clown head originally was a gift with purchase with a $50 Citizen Brick order or something like that, and these Howdy torsos released a couple months ago on white only. Good to see them in these other colors too. Let's move on to some more, like these Dungeons and Dragons inspired parts. These Dungeon Master books are very cool. They're printed on Lego books. On the inside there is a white piece to imply the pages, but no printing on them, unfortunately. I would have loved to have seen what they would have done there. So we have the two different versions there. There's one more I'll need to show off too, but these torsos are perfect to go with those, with the 20-sided dice like I kind of pointed out earlier. Got magenta, pearl gold, and dark purple there. Nothing on the back. They have a nice silver ink. I do have this part in black as well, so it's nice to get some color instead because I think these are visibly a little bit more interesting. And moving on again. And this will be one of my full figures I can put together. I threw on the Michael Jordan zombie legs. Really great print there. Saw a couple of these available, grabbed one. The other Dungeon Master book. This one has all sorts of creatures on it, you know, unicorn, centaur, dragon, some other little green guys, maybe goblins, I don't know. Again, nothing on the inside. Here's what that pizza cutter staff looks like. Just an off pea color look, so thought that was fun to get. Wanted to pick that up too. You can see the head here is a bit unique, where it is a neutral face with some yellow eyes based off of Fortnite, and translated very well here. Torso is also unique with up, up, down, down, left, right, CB start based on the Konami code. Fun piece to get there, just in black. Didn't see any misprints of it, nothing on the back of those parts up there. But nice to get some new neutral faces and some fun colors. I know when I went in 2022, I got some with like green mouths or green printing overall, so always excited to get more options. Moving on, and this one is not a new part by any means, you know, just Citizen Brick with the smiley dead face. I think I got these in black or something in the previous years, but glad to get some more colors of those too. And with those, I have the Citizen Brick signs included as well. I got the space one, Citizen Brick one, and the Poo Poo Pee Pee one. I just like the variety that they had here, and the signs just have two different clips on them. They go on the longer bar piece. You could put on a normal bar piece as well, put it on the Citizen Brick signs. Better look at that torso on the side there. And I'm excited to see what they do with these. I think these are probably a better product overall than the inflatable tube guys. More versatile, you can do a lot more with these. I like those parts. You know, there's some controversy online. Whatever. If you don't like them, don't buy them. And I think they have some good options for sure. Getting into more of the molded accessories, I thought the spatula would be fun to get since it's flesh. You know, it would be kind of like an extended flesh arm sort of look. And I already kind of showed it off in the review for this minifigure. The Italian beef just goes in the hot dog bun, has a bar connection at the bottom basically. So you just need some more hot dog buns to use all the parts if you ended up getting any of those. I'm excited to maybe throw together a restaurant mock of some sort at some point. I'll have some options. Two very cool parts right there. And they've had these big hands on the store for years now, but I got one in flat silver to go with this robot body. You can just fit a round 1x1 in the hand perfectly. And like I kind of mentioned, the one over here is kind of that periwinkle color. Some of the dark pink is showing through the lighter blue. Very interesting parts. I had to pick it up. In addition to those two, I got light pink as well as this kind of coral dark red with the blue peeking through. So basically the opposite of the one I just showed off. Very excited to figure out some fig barfs to do with those. And getting pretty close to the end of the parts from this part of the convention. They have this new head with a bunch of different neutral faces kind of stacked on top of each other. The sperm part, which fits into a hand like that. And I kind of pointed out this kind of metallic gold chicken. You can see it's a little darker than the pearl gold there. Hairpiece stuck under this head as well. You don't necessarily need to glue it. And the best part about these parts is you can combine it with a baseball hat and it fits flush and perfectly. The weird neutral face there came in flesh and yellow, which seems like those are kind of the base colors. I was glad to get another version of it here. And in addition to being held in the hand like that for that sperm piece, you can also use the top stud in the same sort of way. It's also a bar length. So you have a couple different options for connection points there. And we just have a couple heads left. And again, more variety. They had these weird anime heads. Yellow and flesh were kind of the main colors for those. Now, like I mentioned, I do believe that the 4 different styles here are from their night minifigures that they did, but printed on flesh and the darker color there. Not sure where the sunglass one is from here, but I think it is from one of their military minifigures. Still a cool print though. Nothing on the back of those heads, but always nice to see some interesting variety. The anime heads are a little unexpected. You know, they've done some weird characters like that in the past, but something new there. And going back to parts from the headquarters, lots of molded accessories, honestly. That's kind of what the main thing was. They have some new big head hairs, a couple different styles. And one of the most exciting parts was that they had some of those Stephen Hawking molded heads in a couple different colors, and also some really fun swirl ones. All of those are going to be very unique and one of one. Very happy to get a bunch of those. You know, some of their ugly tall heads and some transparent colors there. Part I'm most excited about is all the cheese parts that they made for the Packer minifigure and molded in different colors. Some more of their old swords for the Knight minifigures. And they have some really cool dual molded accessories, being the axes here and then some of those He-Man swords. So very interesting to see them kind of branch out into the style of molded accessories that they're doing. A new torso that was not at the convention, being the zombie Bucky's torso there. That's another good get. And the Stephen Hawking head with zombie printing on it. Another very cool thing. Got some legs from their prisoner minifigure in tan, and very cool minifigure folks who works there over printed a bunch of stuff. So I got 2 different parts from them. Very excited to look at those and show those off. For our first set of headquarters parts, here is their tennis ball head. They had a bunch of these in a couple different colors. Picked up one of them. They also had their He-Man axes dual molded in some fun colors like these. So it's going to be really fun if you put together a colorful combination of parts, and with these big heads, you fit on some of their hair pieces they also had in the larger style, which is going to be the exact same as the smaller minifigure version as well. So great to see that. This hairpiece did already exist for their original He-Man Prince Adam minifigure that they had for Citizen Brick Day, whichever one, 2 times ago. But it's much looser now, a lot easier to get it off where you can actually remove it without struggling. So great to see that. And just like the axe, they also had the He-Man swords that they just made, also dual molded in fun colors. Glad to have gotten a couple of those. And another one of their large hair pieces. They also had their new dreadlocks piece, also in that larger mold. So that's going to be fun and also works. Came in all the colors that I showed off earlier. For the zombie parts, the Bucky's torso is really cool. I'd love to see an undamaged version of this as well. Has front and back torso printing. Threw on the Ellie legs from the Last of Us figure as well here. And the cheese head also will be compatible with that Stephen Hawking mold. Is interesting, this cheese is a slightly different color than the one that'll be on the figure that we'll look at later, where it is a bit more of a dull yellow instead of just straight vibrant Lego yellow. I think this face print is great. I think a lot of people are going to be happy to get these. I'm assuming these will be in the store eventually. You don't have to worry too much about missing out from them at the headquarters. Same goes for the torso. Pretty sure those will be released down the line eventually too. But this combo is really fun. Excited about that one. And of course, I also have all of those neutral face Stephen Hawking printed faces as well. So here's that with the, I guess, Danzig from the Misfits hairpiece that they also made. You're able to kind of rotate that around if you want the emo hair look a couple different ways. Again, came in a couple different colors like you already saw. Just take this off because the head is honestly the most interesting part, where you can see all the different colors of plastic on this. Some brown, green, yellow, red. Very cool piece. Very excited to have that. This one has black printing, and I got a couple of the different colors with all of those ones having black, but some of the other swirl ones having some white face printing as well. I think these look really cool as like candy heads or something. I would imagine these could end up in stash boxes eventually. But man, I am very happy to have all of these. This is a great part. I'm sure people are going to have a lot of fun ways to use this for their fig barfs and anything else they might be working on. Last couple of loose heads. I got these two transparent, ugly, tall heads. I just thought those would be fun to get. Again, with that new hairpiece they made for their newest botany enthusiast. Love having that in all the different colors. Honestly, it is just a nice longer hair option. I think Danny Torrance figure used this hairpiece. The Ramones also did. So not a new design, but having it more colors is great. I do think I picked some of those up at Brickworld last year anyway. Cheese heads, though, that is where it is at. I am so excited to have all the different color options of this. Some of them don't make a ton of sense, like black, but very cool. And I think the mold of that is amazing. I'll compliment that some more in a bit, but that's kind of the last of the loose pieces, like I said. I got one of the swords in old gray. We'll take a look at that with that figure, but I also got it in that bronze look that the chicken also had, so also cool to have that. One more sort of fig barf, though, and those are my parts from Zach or Minifigure Folks. And the legs I already kind of showed off too, the tan misprint of the prisoners. So they did have a ton of those figures in that color, so not super rare, but looking at the torso here, featuring the arms from the bear, but on these black and flesh dual molded arms instead of the one with the printed sleeve here. Honestly, I picked this as my part just for those arms. I think that's a great part. Top of that, though, this torso is actually the Exorcist Reagan minifigure overprinted. So that was kind of cool with the muscles on the kind of fun printed shirt there. And those muscle lines are from the Prince Adam minifigures. I have a really good idea for a photo for that torso that I'll end up getting out eventually after I figure out the rest of the parts for it. And on top of that, I got this transparent Tesseract Minecraft head with the neutral face on it. And I just wanted a cool molded part for something with a neutral face on it. I thought that was kind of a fun choice there. And of course, the axe piece I already showed off in kind of the more traditional axe colors with that flat silver and the gunmetal type of silver as well. Another just fun piece to have, and I'm definitely going to be able to throw that into something. One more piece again to close off the headquarters section, and that of course is the torso to recognize the event. Just a freebie you got if you bought something, the Citizen Brick headquarters open house on June 17th. I was there, so fun little torso. Kind of bummed I missed out on I visited Citizen Brick and all I got was his torso. I want to get that one eventually, but this is also a super nice gift for them, and honestly just them having anything to give out to the people that showed up. Very cool for them. This will be a very special part of my collection. I'm glad I was able to make it, and anytime I go to Brickworld from now on, I'm going to stay till Monday to go again. Let's get into the actual part of the review with the full figure reviews. Just like last year, their main way for releasing cool and unique parts was by selling pre-assembled minifigures, just like Brick Fair last year. So here are all of the figures that I picked up. A lot of them ended up being what you would call a misprint if you're not super familiar with Citizen Brick, where it is a normal figure in a different color, basically. Like you can see the normal Michael Jackson that came out and the purple one next to it. Other than that, I did get a couple of their brand new minifigures that aren't certain colors. Hard to say for the like Luchadors and the Ms. Neutrals, where those just come in a couple different colors, so who knows what the official color is technically. But this isn't everything that came out. I did miss out on a couple or just skipped a couple. Wish I would have picked up a cowboy, which I do have one on the way that I bought from somebody else now. And everything here though, I'm very excited about. We have some really cool new civilian type clothings and some very fun different colored misprints. Just to start out with some of the figures that I have kind of duplicates of, the wrestlers, the torso and legs are going to be the exact same, obviously with different colors. They get 2 of the 3 masks, with duplicate there with the, whatever you would call that type of mask. And then obviously I think this one's the clown one. One of the coolest things about these is they do have their new molded big arms. I'll just go ahead and take one of these for now. And the way that the arm works, it just has kind of a normal Lego arm peg and fits in. Hands fit in perfectly as well. You can switch out the normal hands for the Citizen Brick big hands. And the arm is also stamped with a CB on the socket, I guess you would say, or the peg, whatever. Getting it on and off is pretty easy, just like a normal Lego arm. The capes on these are definitely custom fabric. They're a little bit thicker than a normal Lego cape, and I mean, that's fine if it's easier for them to source them. Back of the legs are going to feature those trunk designs and wrap around for the boots again. I feel like these boots are pretty similar to their combat boots with the side sort of crease design. All of these ended up being pretty thematic color-wise, like this one, which has lilac, purple, magenta. The hands are a little bit off, I guess. You know, those don't really match the rest of the design, but very purpley, which is why I picked it out. I don't have like a set color I want in my collection, but I do really enjoy purple. So I end up getting a lot of purple parts, which you'll end up seeing a bit too when I'm looking at more characters. But this is a fun design, which I'll say again about this one, which is going to be the exact same, but with red and aqua instead of the lilac and purple. Features some coral hands for some reason, and on the back of the mask, I should say, it has some of those strings where you tie up the mask. So it does have some back head printing, which is nice. Front of the mask, all of them probably have that blue. I would love to have seen something a little bit closer to Nacho Libre's mask. I would have definitely picked that up. I'm excited to have the legs, though. That does make me a little bit closer to making that for my collection. Let's just take a look at the last one, too, for this figure. A lot of the same thing, same torso, same legs, but these two do actually end up matching color-wise, and the mask, a little bit different on the front, but on the back, same sort of strap design. You can kind of see the flesh peeking through on this one, I guess also on this one, where the mask is always going to be that skin tone, so it kind of makes it unfortunate if you want to have more variety in your collection of wrestlers. But the color on all of these seems pretty good. You know, this one has a lot more color variation than the other one, since it also has the red and then also the white going around the eyes. The blue seems like it is pretty much the same color, and I wouldn't be surprised if it is. But that is it for these wrestlers. Honestly, this might be an official Lego cape, though. Other two, definitely different. But let's move on to another figure. And we'll take a look at a misprinted minifigure, being the Times Square Elmo in green here. The hands were originally flash, but I switched them out to use them for another character at some point. I do believe I already had the lime head from when I went to Indianapolis, but you had to buy the whole figure together, so it just ended up, I'm going to pick up another one of those, I guess. Same things that I had to say about the original Times Square Elmo. It's a very fun concept. The big head works great, and for the Muppet-style characters, having the other colors of this just means I have another character in the universe. It's too bad the greens don't end up matching, where the body is that light green, I believe. Then obviously that's lime. Would have been great to have all of them the same color, or even having a different color of the fanny pack would have been a nice addition to this, but it's a very cool color combination for the already kind of exclusive Comic-Con minifigure here, so gonna be nice for the collection. Very happy to have this one. One of their new minifigures that ends up having a pretty simple design, honestly, is the Ms. Neutral here, based off of a beauty pageant member or Ms. Universe, whatever. I think the look of this definitely works. I really like that they just did Ms. Neutral instead of actually naming it after something. A lot of the neutral faces had different colors of lipstick and stuff, so if you're a neutral face collector, it's going to be great for getting more variety of that. On the back of the legs, no printing, but on the front you can see that the swimsuit is continued along a little bit, and you can actually bend the legs just a little bit and still have some printing, so some options for posability where it isn't going to break up immediately. The hairpiece was just kind of random. They just threw those onto the minifigures, no back head printing. And really the back is just swimsuit and the sash kind of continuing around. They had these in a bunch of different colors. I just thought this was one of the more unique colors. That's why I picked that. No specific reason, really. They didn't have a purple one. So I guess that was kind of the driving force there. On the legs, you can see that it is printed in addition to using the different hip pieces. So I'm sure they just limited the amount of colors they printed with, just because they'd have to switch out the plate and ink and all that. And I'm sure that'd be kind of a headache. So I think they only did 5 or 6 different colors of these, and you could see that on the Citizen Brick reel if you kind of watch through that. Just a quick and dirty figure here, you know, not crazy detailed or anything, but very effective. A simple commission minifigure that I got from the headquarters was this square minifigure here with the square logo on the front. The face is just a generic Lego smiley face, but on gold. Not a lot to see here, but I saw this and I kind of am interested in collecting some of their commission minifigures, so this was a great one to add. Nice and simple, and very cool to see them working with these huge companies that you see everywhere. Another one of the weird figures that I got from the headquarters, which I do already kind of have, is their Mad Max minifigure here, but it has the Charlie Brown head instead. I just wanted to pick this up since I did really like the original figure here, but I already do have that one, and the hairpiece is also kind of fun and useful, so it's good to have one of those. I just think these parts are useful. I'll toss them on something else, and it was nice. It did come with the shoulder piece, and it's actually a lot tighter than the one I have in my original minifigure, so maybe I have to switch that out so that one doesn't end up falling off and getting lost. Also, just nice to get another Charlie Brown head since I'm down to only one of those. Very funny to see this put together in a bin. I'm glad I could pick it up. One of the best figures that they've put out this year was their Michael Jordan zombie minifigure that just came out in their last drop. I was very excited to get this one. You know, I'm not a basketball fan, but concept-wise, it really is cool. So when I saw that they had a bunch of misprinted minifigures for Brickworld, had to pick one up. I thought the gold one just stood out a bit and caught my eye. Probably had purple, but I want to get some variety, and very happy to have this. And this is just why I love collecting, you know. There's that little extra layer on the iceberg where you're just collecting stuff because it's cool. I do already like the base figure, and for the most part I do just like collecting base figures. But this color here just adds a little bit of spice, and I'm glad to have it. For the next couple of figures, kind of a callback to some other stuff Citizen Brick has done, like the Michael Jackson torso here, which they had on their site for Halloween, I believe, and then this one was also available in a ton of colors at Brickworld last year. The head here is a commission by Dash Bricks that was printed by Citizen Brick to go along with an older version of the Michael Jackson jacket they did that had tears in it, and would be that zombie version from the music video, obviously. I think this got voted as the best torso last year in my end of the year Citizen Brick video. It's very well deserving, but they are back with a new version, which, like I said, calls back to the torn up version from the music video. Also comes with new legs to tie in with that as well. It's cool. This version has arm printing, the old one didn't, and it is actually slightly different than this one. There's some tears in it, so it isn't just reuse from that. Same goes for the face, actually, where you can see that they are different. Very similar, but different. I'm sure they kind of based it off of the old design with some of their more recent techniques, but also, you know, obviously they're based off of the same source material. And I had to pick up the normal red one for sure, even though I do have that older jacket and the previous head. But printing on this figure is great. Printing on the old torso was also great. So I'm just glad I have this zombie version in my collection now, since I don't have the original version of this torso. And I got it in more than just the red one, because I also got it in this dark purple, which will be the exact same print-wise, but printed on purple plastic instead of red. And I saw this. I wasn't going to get it, but had to pick it up. And I'm very glad I did. It's a very fun color, very fun design, and it's going to be nice to display all of my Thriller Michael Jackson figures together. The next couple of minifigures are kind of an interesting choice by Citizen Brick to make, being the Lion Knight and the Black Falcon Knight that they did here. I already kind of showed it off. They made this really interesting large-scale version of the classic Lego sword. Obviously with a bigger handle, everything's bigger. That's kind of a fun piece, and I'm surprised to see them touching a Lego product like this again. Previously, they have done the Blacktron Zombie, so, you know, they have done some overlap on classic Lego themes. This one has the neutral face lion instead of the normal full lion. So that's what they kind of did here to parody that. Nothing on the back of the figure, and the faces very unique. And like I said, it does seem like all these loose heads that I got are based off of the ones used for this minifigure. You can see the two here are the same. And they had a bunch of different options for those as well, so you could kind of pick what expression was your favorite. Kind of like the dumber look here. I thought they'd be kind of fun to use for different characters later on. The shield features the same emblem as the one on the torso, but obviously at different scales. So that's actually kind of interesting to see that they are different sizes. I had to make 2 different sets of the plates to print this, basically. And this will be a fun little Easter egg you could throw into your castle display. I have the Lion Knight's castle still. I haven't built it yet, but when I do, I'm going to definitely throw this minifigure in, as well as the next one, which will be the exact same concept as the previous one, but this is the Black Falcon design instead, featuring the neutral face in the middle of the bird instead of the normal bird head. It'll have the same sword, it'll have the same helmet, but again, different face there. This one has a couple more teeth than the other one, so you can see there. They had a bunch of different expressions, like I said, and I kind of showed off those heads too already, but picked another interesting look. I thought this would be very medieval, not very hygienic, whatever. I don't know. I just thought it was fun. That's what I'm kind of looking for. Another cool classic figure. Gonna look great in my castle displays. As someone from the Midwest, I was very excited about this minifigure. Being a Packers fan, back says Citizen, the numbers are 00, and features some cool printed citizen brick sleeve parts, and of course the molded cheese piece, which I love. It's a great mold, works very well, and just has the stud, or the anti-stud, on the inside to fit on a minifigure head. Looks like this version might actually have a slightly tanner skin tone, not just the light nougat, so didn't even realize that. I guess I picked a rarer version of the character. The ink on the face looks great with the split yellow and green. And overall, just the color choices look very good. I think color match works very well here. And again, Midwest person, love the idea of this, and having wearable cheese hats is a great part, and I'm so happy I got all the colors of that. My last misprint for the Brickworld haul is this Prince Adam He-Man, purple again, and these really cool light blue and dark blue dual molded legs. It's interesting to see. I think most of the figures did have dual molded legs, which calls back to the original, which had the, I believe, Wonder Twins legs from the CMF. Obviously, you know, you could have any leg on there since just the hip is printed. Features the very nice large minifigure hairpiece there, which is removable, like I already kind of pointed out earlier. And that'll be nice. You could switch this out for any neutral face you have. If you want to change up the colors and make it a little bit more interesting. So that's nice to have some more options. And it came with one of those single colored He-Man swords, which is an upgrade from the version which had the classic sword from the first release. I thought I picked up another one of the just silver ones, but I didn't, so I just have the one version. But it'll be kind of nice to keep the original all together and not change that one up. It's too bad that just the torso is a different color. I would like to have seen other color changes, but hey, good to have some nice shirt designs, I guess, for some buff guys. Let's move on to another new figure, which will be another zombie character, being their Wu-Tang zombie here, featuring a nice gold grill on the teeth there. The eye design is kind of fun and features some more just dark gray speckling to give it some texture. Back of the torso also has some rips on it. You can see the chain wrapping around too. And these legs are also super cool, which I believe are based off of the Tupac minifigure, but also are just, you know, great shoe printed legs with some nice creasing, nice wrap around it as well. Definitely could see people being very excited about these minifigures and would want to pick them up. Hopefully they get a very wide release and aren't just convention leftover sale type figures. Like I said, this is the type of character where they had a ton of colors. Who knows what the original color is? Maybe there is no original color, but very happy to have this version. I think the yellow and the purple go well together. Wish the legs maybe were in a darker color, but also it's still jean color, which could be very useful for whatever character I want to throw those on. Onto the last minifigure, which is their new tracksuit guy, featuring an Adidas tracksuit with accurate logos. Get the striping on the side, shoes wrap around all the way. Got it in coral color again, just because it stood out to me. I thought it'd be a nice combo to have. Not super excited about the head or anything. That was just what was on this one, just because I really wanted to make sure I got one of the caps, since that is a new part, I believe, by Citizen Brick. And I wanted that instead of hairpiece. See right there, also has a gun, which could be a Citizen Brick part, or it could be a Brick Arms part. Moving the arm out of the way to get that leg printing. Looks like it's going to be pretty much the same design on both sides, just mirrored. And again, great printing here. Very excited to have this. Would have been nice to have picked up like 2 or 3 of the same color, but these were going pretty fast. And again, hopefully we can get this available on the site for more people to pick them up. And with that, again, who knows what the original color was intended for this to be. They had a whole bunch of them, so it really could have been anything, especially when they're just printing black and white on it. Definitely works very well with any color combo. But hey, that's the last minifigure that I picked up. Let's go ahead and get to some comparisons and the final verdict. And that was definitely a long video, but I'm always glad to show off all the stuff that I got to people that didn't get to go to Brickworld. Honestly, I'm kind of bummed that they didn't have as many options just loose in the bins. Kind of really like just collecting the parts versus the whole figures. I'm sure this is a little bit more equitable where you end up getting a whole product and makes it a lot harder to scalp a bunch of stuff. When it comes to the figures that I did get, I am very excited with them. This Packer fan is very fun and unique, and it's kind of surprising to see them do a Wisconsin character versus somebody from Chicago. Wrestlers, I'm sure people are going to really love those. They had a ton of them, a bunch of different color combos, so that is perfect. It is basically like a build your own Luchador. I feel like the highlight for my misprint collection was the Michael Jackson. Maybe even all those zombies. I really like the colors I was able to get. The MJ, I definitely had to get one color of him. Gold was a good option. Glad I picked that one up. I think people could be excited about those castle ones. I'm interested to see in the long term if they sell all of them or if there will be any left over. I feel like those were the ones that were kind of stuck at the convention after everybody went through. And again, another great misprint there. Torso, very cool to get that. All the new accessories are also very fun. I'm interested to see what other sort of dual molded parts they do in the future. I think both of these turned out great, and for the colors that they picked, definitely work. Let me know, out of everything you saw, what is something you're interested in, you feel like you need to add to your wanted list. Other than getting that cowboy, like I mentioned, which I did already buy one, I feel like I'm pretty happy with everything I got. Other than cowboy, maybe I could have picked up one of the women prisoners, but I just wanted to see what would be available on the site. And after spending as much as I did already at Brickworld, I'm not too bummed that I didn't pick anything up. But if you want to see more Citizen Brick, custom Lego videos, or more from my trip to Brickworld, check out all the videos on my channel. I've been Brick Ready Up, and I'll see you in the next video.